Hello again. In this installment of Spiritual Wisdom, I'm going to talk about magical correspondences. Now, when you read many books, such as maybe Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, he talks about the gender of the plant, the planet ruler or the planet that this plant's associated with, and the element. Everything in the universe corresponds to everything. But, for example, if we were saying magical correspondences of the moon, well, water, the element water corresponds to the moon, meaning water vibrates with the same energy of the moon. Things like moonstone, selenite, clear quartz, these types of crystals vibrate with the same energy of the moon. But if you think about selenite never needs cleansed or charged, but it corresponds with all the elements, all the planets, but it resonates with the goddess energy stronger. That means its gender is feminine. It corresponds with all the planets, it vibrates with all the planets' energy, but it corresponds with the moon's energy strongest, and the element is water. Only selenite is not water safe. However, when it comes to magical correspondences, there will be debates. Some people will say, well, I feel amethyst, it corresponds with the Jupiter or the moon. But as I always say, when you read books and correspondences, use the books as inspiration, but meditate on your plants, your crystals, and write down, what do you feel? Do you feel this plant or crystal resonates with the goddess energy stronger or the god energy? If the plant or crystal resonates with the goddess energy stronger, then its gender will be feminine. If the plant or crystal resonates with god energy stronger, the gender will be masculine. And then when you meditate on this crystal or plant, what planet do you feel this plant or crystal resonates with stronger? And whatever you feel it is, write that down. And everything in the universe corresponds to earth, air, fire, water. Just some things may, for example, if you think of a tree, the wood of the tree represents earth. The air that blows through the tree's branches represents air. And the fact that the sun also beams on the tree will have fire energy on it. And also the fact that the tree takes water deep below the earth, nutrients and water. The tree corresponds with all four elements, but mainly when we think of wood, we think of fire. So that's how, the wand is associated with the element of fire. For some people it's air, but again, write down how magical correspondences for you. Some people find magical correspondences interesting, but they don't use them in their practice, because they can be contradictory. For example, chamomile, in some books it'll say chamomile, gender feminine, planet sun, element water. Some it'll say masculine. But always use the books as a guideline, not as fact. Meditate on the crystal or plant and write down for yourself, what do you feel this plant resonates with or corresponds with? And that's what I would encourage when it comes to magical correspondences. I personally use them in my practice, and sometimes I'll look in books and I might agree with the author and what they're saying, and other times I don't. But I always meditate on my crystals and plants to find out for myself, what do I feel this plant's gender is, planet and correspondences. And when I done the gender of plants, I explained how in the universe there's a great masculine energy and a great feminine energy, and if something resonates with the feminine energy stronger, its gender will be feminine, and vice versa for the masculine. And again with correspondences, it's just what are correspondences? Correspondences are just items or tools that vibrate at the same energy frequency. For example, there will be crystals that vibrate at the same energy frequency of the moon. There will be items and crystals and plants that vibrate at the same energy frequency as Jupiter, such as things like cinnamon, nutmeg. These plants resonate very strongly with the planet Jupiter. However, into the next installment of Spiritual Wisdom, this is me just giving a little bit of information on magical correspondences. And correspondences are just items, plants, crystals that vibrate with the same energy, and everything corresponds to each other. But some things may resonate with the moon energy stronger, and some things may resonate with Mars energy stronger. It just depends. Anyway, until the next installment of Spiritual Wisdom, blessed be. May meet, may part, meet again. Blessed be.